Well, thank you for that introduction. One thing that Ted didn't mention is that I'm actually originally from North Dakota, and there aren't many of us in North Dakota. There are about 500,000 of us, 500,000, less than the amount of people that live in the city and county of San Francisco. But I've had the chance of living and working in some amazing cities in my career: Washington, D.C., Paris, Austin, Texas, okay, Book 'em Horn, and San Francisco. And what I have come to understand about myself is I love cities. I really love anticipating the challenges that they have, the immediacy of when we provide solutions, and whether we provide those solutions in ways that are useful to the citizens. It really is what excites me. Because cities are really where it all happens. We are the cutting edge, if you want to think about that. 90% of the world's population lives in cities. And 7 out of 10 7 out of 10 patented inventions come out of cities. So this is really where the action is happening. And what I want to do today is share with you what we're doing in San Francisco relative to ensuring that San Francisco continues to be a platform for innovation, and that we really take what we're doing and make a sustainable change in the delivery of government. So I think the first thing is, why San Francisco? Well, one of the reasons is that we have an incredible, we are an incredible destination. We are consistently rated one of the top places to come to visit as a tourist, and we're consistently rated as one of the top places to come and do our work, to be in business. We have the talent. We are extremely diverse in San Francisco. We have 5 official languages in the city. We have 170 languages and dialects that we support. We're relatively young. We're relatively well educated. We are, according to Money Magazine, the most educated city in the country. When it comes to business, we are a city of small businesses. We have about 40,000 small businesses. And when it comes to capital, we, in the first quarter of 2010, we received the most venture capital of any city in the country. And what that means is that we are an incredible place for Gavin Newsom to lead us forward. And I say that not because he's my boss, but I say that because Mayor Newsom actually gets the transformative power of technology. He really understands that what you all are doing really can make a fundamental change in how government delivers its services, products and services. And so with that leadership, San Francisco has an opportunity, and it's an opportunity that most governments don't have. Tim OReilly came up with this idea that government is like a vending machine. Most people put their tax dollars in and get a service back out, and it's kind of that one-way transaction. What we're trying to do in San Francisco is change that. We're trying to come up with a new paradigm. I don't know, for those of you who live in San Francisco know about this project called Homeless Connect. It was the brainchild of the mayor, and the idea was not to have all of the citizens in need of homeless services come to government, but for government to bring those services out to the public and deliver them where they're needed. It was a fundamental shift in how San Francisco thinks and provides its services, and it was just the beginning. Our innovation platform is really designed around 3 concepts. The first is that a city like San Francisco can be thought of as this amazing set of systems. When you think about it, we're a city and county, but we have all of these systems around public safety. We have all of these systems around transportation. We have all of these systems around health, about recreation and parks. And when you add them all together, a city is this amazing platform of stuff going on that we don't really even understand, all of which, because everybody's kind of doing their own thing. But coming together, we are an amazing power with a lot of value that is inside, locked inside. And so what we're really trying to figure out is how to unlock that value. If you look at the business networks in San Francisco, Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, Google, you also know that they have amazing but different networks. And the last piece of this triad is the users. And we know that users have been kind of left out in all of this. And it's time that we bring users back into the process as co-creators. So if we're going to try to figure out how to better understand the networks in cities, the networks that businesses have, and the users, and there's kind of that sweet spot in between, what are we going to do? Eric Ries recently came to talk to us in San Francisco. He's the author of The Lean Startup. And he says that the success of startup companies really has to do with using open source platforms, really being agile in the development process, and being very iterative and making sure you constantly check in with your customers, with those using or buying your services. That really made sense to me. And so what we are doing is taking those three concepts and we are building what we call open government. At this point, when we talk about open government, we're trying to figure out how to make it transparent and accountable using collaborative methods. And we've decided to focus on three pieces: data, applications, and infrastructure. Now, you're going to be hearing a lot more about specific examples of what we're doing with these three pieces in a minute, but I'm just going to give you a brief highlight. We have in San Francisco asked departments, i.e. The 53 or 65 departments that Ted was talking about, to release data and in a grand experiment and just put it out there on our website and ask, entice, work with individuals to create interesting and unique applications. We have around 150 data sets released, and we have around 50 applications that have been built. These are three examples of those applications, and I believe you're going to hear somebody from each of these in a minute. Routzy, Mom Maps, and EcoFinder. These are all iPhone apps, but they are based on the release of this data, and the applications and the services that are being provided, quite frankly, had really never been conceived of or considered by government employees, nor did we really have the resources to do it. So